At the southern edge of Etosha National Park, Namibia, an old male lion walked slowly across the parched, golden earth. His paw pads were cracked from the hot terrain. His legs trembled with each step, as if every movement drained what little life remained in him. Once, long ago, this same lion had ruled a pride that spanned over 50 square kilometers of grassland and thorn scrub. His roars had sent echoes across the plains and fear through the hearts of rivals. But those days were long gone. The lion's name, if nature gave such things, had been spoken in silence by all who watched him then, the Desert King. His mane had once glowed with a deep, golden hue, full and regal, flowing like the tall grasses in Etosha's wind. Now, it hung in thin, tangled strands, dull and dry like forgotten straw. His ribs pressed against his flanks, visible with each labored breath. His tail barely twitched behind him. Scars crisscrossed his body, each one a memory of a battle fought and won. But they no longer shone with pride. They were just faded maps of a world that had left him behind. In his prime, he had fought off younger males, brought down wildebeest with a single leap, and guided his pride through droughts and storms. But the cycle of nature has no mercy. One by one, the young lions grew stronger. They challenged him not out of hate, but instinct. And when he could no longer fend them off, he left, proud enough not to die before their eyes. Weeks passed. He drank from shallow, muddy pools that evaporated more each day. He stalked antelope from the shadows, but his claws were dull and his teeth few. The flesh of prey was beyond his reach. Hunger gnawed at him. Yet, he kept walking. Something deep within him refused to lie down. Tourists in a safari vehicle spotted him one early morning. At first, they thought they were looking at a sick dog or a jackal. Then they saw the faded mane, the heavy shoulders, the unmistakable shape of a lion's head. They raised their cameras in silence. No one spoke. Later, they sent the photos to park authorities, concerned by what they had seen. At the ranger station, Jonas and Elijah, both seasoned wildlife caretakers, reviewed the photos. "It's him," Jonas said, his voice hushed. "That's the old boy from the Western Ridge. I haven't seen him in almost 2 years." Elijah nodded. "He's hanging on. Barely." They prepared to leave immediately. A medical kit, fresh minced meat, hydration packs, antibiotics, and a reinforced transport cage were loaded into the back of their vehicle. They knew it wouldn't be easy. The lion might be gone by the time they found him. Or worse, still alive, but too far gone to help. The drive was long and hot. The park stretched for miles in every direction, sun-bleached and quiet. Jonas drove while Elijah leaned out of the passenger side, scanning the horizon for tracks. They followed prints in the sand, faint, dragging marks that suggested a body too tired to lift its own paws. The deeper into the bush they went, the more silent they became. After several hours, near a bone-dry watering hole, they saw him. The lion lay under the shade of a dying acacia tree, barely more than skin and bones. His eyes were half-closed. Flies clung to the wounds along his back. When he heard the vehicle, he opened one eye, but did not move. There was no fight left in him. Jonas reached for the tranquilizer gun, but Elijah gently placed a hand on his arm. "Wait," he said. "He's not a threat. Not anymore." They stepped down from the vehicle, moving slowly, speaking softly. Jonas held a handful of meat, the scent drifting on the wind. The lion sniffed. He did not rise, but he lifted his head. With trembling effort, he crawled forward and took the meat into his mouth. His gums bled slightly, but he chewed anyway. Hunger overpowered the pain. As he ate, Elijah crouched and injected a mild booster into the lion's thigh, just enough to stabilize his blood sugar and hydrate his muscles. Then they offered him water. He drank deeply. It was then that Jonas made a decision. They would not tranquilize him. If he was going to trust them, it had to be on his terms. They rolled the cage a few meters forward and opened its door. Jonas held more meat in his hand and slowly stepped back toward it. The lion's eyes followed him. "Come on, old man," Jonas whispered. "One more journey." Slowly, painfully, the lion rose. Each step was labored, shaking. When he reached the cage, he paused. He looked over his shoulder, out toward the endless plains. There was no pride waiting. No rivals. No future in the wild. Just silence. Then he entered the cage. The door was gently shut and latched. Elijah checked it twice. Jonas exhaled slowly. He came on his own. They lined the cage with damp cloth and gently covered the sides to shield him from the sun. As they drove back, a few curious tourists caught a glimpse of the lion and asked questions. Elijah simply answered, "We're giving him a chance to rest." At the veterinary facility, a team of professionals was waiting. The lion was carefully lifted into a shaded enclosure filled with soft straw. Vets examined him thoroughly. Malnutrition. Severe dehydration. Skin infections. Dental damage. But, amazingly, his heart was steady. His lungs were clear. "He's old," one of the vets said, "but he's not done." They named him Nuru, meaning light in Swahili. It was a name that suggested not strength, but resilience, the quiet, flickering fire that refuses to go out. In the weeks that followed, Nuru began to heal. His wounds closed. His fur thickened slightly. He gained weight. Though he would never run again or roar with force, he began to recognize his caretakers. He would lift his head when Elijah entered. He would press his nose to Jonas's hand through the bars. There were no more hunts, no more battles. Just quiet mornings, soft food, cool water, and gentle voices. He spent his days resting beneath shade nets, occasionally watching birds pass overhead. Sometimes, in the late afternoons, Jonas would sit beside his enclosure and talk, not expecting the lion to understand, but knowing the presence mattered. Then, one morning, Nuru didn't wake up. He lay peacefully, head resting on his front paws, his breathing stopped sometime in the early hours. There was no struggle. Just stillness. Peace. They buried him under a large tree near the care facility. A simple stone was placed at the base. He was seen. He was honored. He was loved. Not every lion dies with glory. But this one, at least, died with dignity. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next episodes.